Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and today I'm going to be using that voice to say, I told you so. You see, I done made a prediction, and that prediction done came true. Now, to be fair, it wasn't exactly the wildest prediction ever, and let's just say I'm not the only one that made the prediction, as well as there's been plenty of things I've been wrong about, so maybe don't get too big-headed too quickly, we'll see. You see, a while ago we were shown Rillaboom V, and I told you that Rillaboom V looked like it was going to be the best partner for the Rillaboom from Sword and Shield, the one that accelerated a bunch of energy. Well, the good news is, we've had some tournaments now where VMAX Rising is legal in Japan, and it turns out the Rillaboom V is in fact awesome, and is in fact seeing some play and some love and some success. Shout out to the lovely Code64X over on Twitter for hooking us up with the particular deck list. Now, if we start off with a little bit of a look at Rillaboom V, the reason I thought Rillaboom V was so gosh darn good was because it does 220 damage. It's quite a lot, incidentally. 220 damage for 4 energy, which isn't so much with the other Rillaboom, more on that in a moment. It's a huge amount of damage. As for 1 grass energy, search for 2 basic grass Pokemon, put them on your bench. Nah, not loving it, ladies and gentlemen. Not loving it at all. But that's alright, it's still there in an emergency. Now, it's not just Rillaboom V. Rillaboom V Max is also seeing play and love and success in the same deck. Now, the good news is we've got up to 330 HP, which is frankly gigantic. 1 colourless energy, 50 damage isn't really exciting anyone, but 3 grass energy, 1 colourless, yeah. 130 damage, and you may discard up to 3 grass energy from this Pokemon, doing 50 more for each card discarded in this way. So essentially it's 4 energy, and if you discard 3 of them, 280. And we were loving 4 energy, 220. 4 energy, 280 is kind of silly good. And you got 330 HP. You will not be one-hit KOing V Maxes. Any V, pretty much any tag team Pokemon, pretty much anything other than V Maxes, you'll be one-hit KOing. Though remember, it's an option. If you only got to do 180, only discard 1 energy. And it really doesn't matter about the discard. You're losing 3 energy, but in comes the Rillaboom from Sword and Shield. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 grass energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So if you have to discard 3 grass energy, well, 1 from your hand, 2 from the ability, there we go. You've got those 3 grass energy back, and you're not in any worse position than you were in before. And then, of course, if you've got multiple Rillaboom out, you don't even need an energy from your hand. And this is basically the deck. There's like literally one other Pokemon that sees play in the deck. This is the deck. It is Rillaboom, accelerating energy to Rillaboom V and Rillaboom V Max. Although don't sleep on Rillaboom as a non-GX, non-V single prize attacker. I mean, 140 for 4 energy is not exactly the most efficient attack we've ever seen. But if you've got 2 Rillaboom out, you can pay this attack cost without needing even any energy in your hand, and then you're doing 140, and you're only giving up 1 prize in the process. It's not something you want to be doing regularly, but as an occasional non-GX attack, I'm kind of digging it, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of digging it. Now, in terms of other Pokemon, we've got Venusaur and Snivy. That's it. We just play Venusaur and Snivy. And even this isn't, well, I assume at least, really for the attacks. 4 energy, 160, no. 3 energy, 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. If you've got 2 extra energy attached to it, then you get to heal all damage from all of your Pokemon. Now, this might actually be worth it. You only need 5 energy total, and if you've got 2 Rillaboom out, that's 2 Rillaboom abilities and 1 from your hand. And spreading 50 is alright. We'll bring some of those V Maxes into range. And healing all damage from all of your Pokemon. I mean, look, if you've got 2 Rillaboom V Max that each have like 200 damage on, this could work. I'm not saying you'll use it often. I pretty much am saying you won't use the main attack. I'm saying that you're not going to use the GX attack all the time, but it will help sometimes. It will help sometimes. And what it's really here for is the ability. If it's in the active and you attach a grass energy from your hand to it, you get to gust one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into the active. That's why you play Venusaur and Snivy. It's gusting. And it's pretty gosh darn good gusting. And that's the Pokemon line. Rillaboom, Rillaboom V, Rillaboom V Max, and Venusaur and Snivy. Now, in terms of energy, obviously it's largely grass energy, but there is a copy of Weakness Guard energy here. Takes away your weakness. Bearing in mind that you are weak to fire, which is Welded X, yeah, this might help you occasionally. Now, in terms of your trainer cards here, we do see a couple of newer ones. Now, one of the coolest things we actually see here is we've got Turffield City Gym. Or Turffield Stadium, as it's actually called. Once during each player's turn, they may search their deck for an Evolution Grass Pokemon and put it into their hand. I mean, when you're playing a deck, Rillaboom V Max is an Evolution Pokemon. And Rillaboom is an Evolution Pokemon, so it seems like the kind of thing you might want to be playing here and there. We're not playing any Thwacky in the deck, incidentally, so don't search for him. You won't find him. He ain't in there. We also see a return of Skylar. Skylar's back! Yay! Lets you search for a trainer card. It saw play when it was out before. I suggested it probably would see play again, and would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, it's seeing play again. There we go. Now, in terms of Pokemon search, we've got Netball. It searches out your basic grass Pokemon and basic grass energy, making it awesome. And we've got Evolution Incense to search out your evolutions. Yes, I am fully aware that you've got Turffield Stadium, but that doesn't mean you don't want to play a little bit of this as well. Now, we've also got 2 Rare Candy. Seems low to me. Some of these decks are playing Rowlet and Alolan Executor so that you can evolve straight up into Rillaboom if you've got a Grookey on the bench. Does not seem to be in this deck, which is mildly confusing, but apparently, ladies and gentlemen, that's just the way it is. But you have got stuff like Skylar, and we're also playing Green's Exploration, and Green's Exploration here will basically search an Evolution Incense and a Rare Candy. So evidently there seems to be enough item search that we can get away with 2 Rare Candy. We are also playing 3 copies of Pokégear 3.0 here, which will help because it means that we're going to find our supporters, which are going to help us find our trainer cards, which are pretty gosh darned important. We've got a full 4 copies of Switch. Bearing in mind we want to be using the ability on Venusaur and Snivy, this shouldn't surprise you. And we've even got a copy of Balloon. Venusaur and Snivy has a retreat cost of actually 3, but Balloon and 1 energy will let you retreat, and you've got your ability to accelerate energy, and it really is a phenomenal ability, so we're going to allow it. Now, we are playing a couple copies of Tag Cool here, partly because we're playing Venusaur and Snivy, but it's not worth playing 2 Tag Cool for 1 tag team Pokemon. We're playing a bunch of tag team supporters. We're playing Mallow and Lana. Mallow and Lana lets you switch to the bench and heal. And it lets you heal 120. And you're playing giant Pokemon to give up 2 or 3 prizes. Healing sounds pretty good. Similarly, we're also playing Guzma and Hala. This lets you search for a stadium. We like Turffield City Gym. Or Turffield Stadium. And it lets us search for a Pokemon Tool card. Your 1 copy of Balloon. But it lets you search for a special energy, which means you can play that 1 copy of Weakness Guard energy and actually expect to be hitting it. That's pretty awesome. And then 1 copy of Cynthia and Caitlin. It recovers supporter cards while also allowing you to draw 3 cards. It's pretty good. It sees a lot of play. Now, we do see a couple copies of Energy Recycle System here. Gets your energy back. 1 to your hand or 3 to your deck. This is a deck where you need energy back in your deck to accelerate it with Rillaboom, so playing these seems to work quite nicely. 1 reset stamp is standard in basically every deck, puts your opponent down to a hand equal to their remaining prizes. If they jump out to a big lead, or even if it's just late in the game and they've got few prizes remaining, this can be good hand disruption. We've got 3 copies of Tate and Liza. It's a shuffle draw to 5 or a switch, and we've talked about how great switch is in this deck. And then we got 2 copies of Marnie. You and your opponent both shuffle your hand into your deck. You get 5 cards, your opponent gets 4. It's a decent shuffle draw, while also having a little bit of disruption built in. It's pretty good. It sees a decent amount of play. And there we go. That's the deck. Is it here to stay? I'm not entirely sure. It's good. It's fun. It's powerful. It's gone and won a tournament over in Japan on the first weekend it was legal for tournament play, so if nothing else, this is very much one to watch. But I'd like to know your opinion. I'd like to know if you're buying this. I'd like to know if you think it is awesome or whether you think it's just a little bit of a gimmick deck. For the record, I think it's looking pretty good. But I want to hear from you guys, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but do have awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.